Here we go. It's Friday. Yeah. The recap lunch hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey, here on a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Congrats. You've almost made it through the work week. Happy to be with you here in the recap studios. A lot of exciting things going on. There's a microphone behind me. You know why? Tom Ricketts, chairman of the Cubs, just left this building. Okay. Kap and I did a lengthy sit down with the Cubs chairman, Tom Ricketts. What a 10-day stretch here. I'm not a big, puff your chest, toot your own horn type of guy. Chris Getz, Jed Hoyer, Tom Ricketts have been in this studio over the last 10 days. I like where we're headed, folks. I like the momentum and the steam that this place is picking up here. Hop on board. A lot of you are. My people, the Recap Lunch Hour crowd, we're a community here for you. Plenty to discuss. We will talk about the Tom Ricketts sit down that is actually being edited as we speak. It will drop later on the recap. Also, wherever you listen to podcasts, that'll get out prior to Cubs convention. That is starting later today. Cubs convention is back. Sammy Sosa is back. I know we talked about Sammy about a month ago when it came out that he would be returning to Cubs convention. I think it's an exciting day. I know some people are still chapped about it, but that's what's going on. We will talk about the Ricketts situation. Johnny, what's up? Eric, what's up? Uncle Ted, one of the most underrated pods on YouTube. Appreciate you, Uncle Ted. The recap is taking off. Let's effing go. I agree, Johnny. Clyde, just another day that ends in Y, pal. I feel like you're always at work, man. Andrew, are you guys going to be at Cubs convention? Katie and I will be. Actually, Katie and I will be heading down to Cubs convention later today. I will be there tomorrow as well, actually. I will be there tonight for a brief period. I'm not going to spend my Friday night, no offense, rubbing too many elbows, but I'll be down there for the short term. Tomorrow I'll be broadcasting live on Inside the Clubhouse with Bruce Levine, myself, and David Haw. I will be there live from 9 to noon. We have Kyle Tucker. We have Justin Steele. We have there will be a sit down with Sammy Sosa, Tom Ricketts, and I told him, I was like, you'll see more of me tomorrow, so that'll be kind of funny. And Crane Kenny will join us live. I'll be there from 9 to noon. Uncle Ted killing it with the guests that would have never done a long format interview before. Appreciate that, Uncle Ted. I agree. We've had 3 people in here for well over an hour each. Super comfortable, almost kind of like a shooting the shit type thing. That's the idea. That's who Kap and I are. We're going to ask the questions. We're also going to make you feel comfortable. Look, you're coming in our house. We want you to be comfortable. Corey, wish I could be there. That's why we're doing it for you. We're here so you don't have to be. We will drop that a little bit as soon as it's done. Justin, what's up? Lip Ripper missed you yesterday. I gave you a shout out, man, about UNLV, not just covering the 5.5, but winning outright. Needed you last night there, kid, because the Michigan Wolverine let us down up 9 at the half. Choked themselves away all through the second half and lost outright to a horrific Minnesota team on the road. They did not cover. Bill Copless, let's go Revs. You're right. I gave it to you. Bill Copless, my man. So yeah, big stuff. As I just said, Sammy Sosa's back tonight at Cubs convention. The Tom Ricketts interview we covered. We talked about spending. We talked about life as an owner. What's next? He's done the 2 big things he wanted to: win a World Series, preserve Wrigley Field. What motivates him now is he hits year 16. Hard to believe. A lot of good stuff there. So Tom Ricketts to come as we drop that a little bit here on the recap. Rudy, let's get back to the Bears. I like it. I will take Ben Johnson and Brandon Staley. Riveron as DC. Keep our special teams coach. All right. Well, the Bears interviewing Ravens OC Todd Monken today. And, we said this, we dropped this later. Courtney Cronin, the outstanding reporter for ESPN and ESPN 1000, was on Kap and JHood this morning. And she called Monken her dark horse candidate for the job. There's been a clip of him, I think, surfaced when he was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's a take no shit type of guy, which I think the Bears need. Take a look at that on social. The interview is virtual. Obviously, the Baltimore Ravens play the game of the week against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday night, and the interview today is happening virtually. He could be in the building as early as Tuesday, probably, if they lose. That's going to be a absolutely, it should be the AFC title game. The Chiefs would like to have say something about that. So, yeah. So I think Kap has had Todd Monken in his top 3 for about a week or so. I've had him kind of in my top 4. I keep saying Pete Carroll. The more I keep reading about Todd Monken, Courtney covered him while he was at Southern Miss. So you go back 10 plus years. So she got to know him then, thought he was a great coach then. He had Nick Mullins as his quarterback. Nick Mullins obviously has had a cup of coffee in the NFL, some success in the NFL. You see what Todd Monken's done. He was at Georgia. You see what he's done for Lamar Jackson. I mean, you can make a very valid argument any other season. He wins the MVP this year. He might win the MVP this year. I think Josh Allen might be able to snag his first award today. Shy Northside, I wanted to put this one up there. As an Air Force veteran yourself, thank you for representing. Thank you, dude. This coat is from a vintage shop. I hope it's no disrespect. It's a Foo Fighters. Okay, there you go. All right. It's like a Foo Fighters. When the Foo Fighters were at Wrigley Field in 2015, it was a show I was at. I love the Foos. Wanted to wear this today. Kap and I definitely try to be a little out there. Wanted to wear it today as a small tribute to Wrigley Field. We knew Tom Ricketts was going to be here, not Todd. Tom Ricketts was going to be here. I do love the tribute to the Air Force. So side Northside, thank you for your service and thank you for everything. Kurt wants to know when Tommy Nichols, as he's been called by some fans, going to let Jed have the Cubs ready for 25. We cover it. We talk about, is it fair to have Jed on a 1-year deal? What's his message at the very end? I think he ends up the podcast very passionately about what to expect this season. You might not like it. You might like it. You might find in between, and that's okay. I think he wears it as an owner. We talked about, I asked him directly, what makes you more uncomfortable, years or money? So I think I think we played the hits. Looking forward to what you guys have to say. Uncle Ted, AJ mentors who the Cubs need to sign most. 8th, Minter, 9th, Porter, game over. I'm not ready to give the ball to Porter in the 9th. Like maybe last year was what he needed, that experience. I think there were 13 blown saves in the 9th inning. He didn't blow them all. Obviously, Hector Neris. There was a little bit of Adbert Alzolay, and then Porter Hodge in the 9th inning. Maybe he has the ability to be that guy. I just think what this team needs right now and where they are, I think they need more of a proven lockdown guy in that spot. Paul thinks it's going to be Mike McCarthy because he has the experience, a great win-loss record in the regular season. His playoff record isn't bad. He's 11-11. Paul, to your point, it's better than Mike Tomlin. I believe it's better than our guy Sean Payton out in Denver. Yeah, I think he needs a new publicist, man, because you look at his stuff compared to Mike Tomlin, and it's like, wait, it's the same, 18 years, more playoff wins, one more division win. They both have one Super Bowl. Look, I think Mike McCarthy would be a great fit for this Bears team. You guys have been hearing me say that all week. Matt Burke, Bears head coach. Watch after Texans destroy the Uncle Ted is all look. You're not going to like my recap bet of the day, Uncle Ted. I'm taking today off. It's all about tomorrow. You are not going to like where I'm going with that. Justin just got off of work. Started at 1:20 this morning. 3 more shifts before Sox Fest. Going to work at 1:20 a.m. Friday and heading to the convention right after. I got 2 nights in the South Loop Hotel. Justin, man, you guys and what you do, the work you put in, it's much appreciated. That night, I've done the overnight shift, dude. It's a bear. It's a bear, and I appreciate all you guys who do it to me. I love when Clyde Norwood. Look, I've ignored him the last 2 days, Katie. He thinks I've ignored him. I love it. I appreciate it. I asked about any latest Cubs, White Sox, Bears news. Clyde, I'm here for you for 30 minutes, man. I'm giving you all the latest. What do you and at the recap David Kevin think about the Cubs powder blue idea? I love them. I think they're awesome. I should have a picture for him here. Let's see if I can pull one up here for you. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. I think the new Cubs alternate uniforms are kick-ass. I really do. Some people don't. They don't like the logo. Oh, God. The daily sneeze on the recap lunch hour. Thank you, Katie. I think they're awesome. I mean, it'd be hard for me to buy one for obvious reasons. However, I'm going to see if I can pull. I don't know if this picture will do it justice. That's it. For those who have not seen, I think they're sweet as hell. And we asked Ricketts about them, and he said that the players had input on them, which I think is cool. I think they're cool. I think they're going to wear them on Fridays. Rudy, we need to wait and interview Brian Flores on Monday. He's getting interviewed tomorrow. Why? Because it complies with the Rooney Rule. Is that the only reason you want to interview Brian Flores? No problem interviewing him tomorrow. Super hard coach to ignore. Oh, it's super hard to coach Lamar and Derrick Henry. Okay. Yeah, you know what it is? What about when you take a quarterback who's extremely talented and you take him to an MVP level where he's playing it back-to-back years? What about that? I mean, oh, here we go. I'm getting some good pictures. Here we go. Look at this hat. Look at that. I think that's sweet. And like, I'm not a Cub fan. Look at that. Dude, I think those are sweet. I'm a big fan of the altar. Look at that. The Cubs nailed it this time. Wonder how the room is going to feel when Sammy shows up. I think for the most part, it will be loud. I think it'll be super, super loud. I hope it is. I mean, there's going to be some people, Clyde, you know, man, all you guys, anybody that's in the that serves our country, I have such a different level of respect for you, and I hope everyone does. But Jesus, man, doing this show is because of you guys and gals. I appreciate the hell out of all the services and all the branches of our armed forces. Just incredibly blessed for sure. Eric, I like the new Cubs alternate uniforms. Are going to be used during. Yeah, those are Fridays. I mean, look at the apparel. I'm getting peppered here. Look at these. I mean, I think they're cool. Look at that. Beaut. I think they're cool. You don't have to like them. A lot of people don't like alternate. This stuff is sick. A lot of people don't like alternate uniforms. I think they're cool. I think they cater down to the younger crowd, which I think is cool too. Uncle Ted Porterhouse, 30% strikeout rate. I agree, but I'm talking in the ninth inning, dude. You gotta hear, like, I'll try to pull it up as we're doing this. It's hard sometimes to try to. Dude, there's no doubt. Like he had a 1.8 ERA with a WHIP of 0.884. I'm not like crapping on him. I just. Is he ready to be the full-time guy for a team that is trying to get to the postseason? That's all I'm asking. I mean, I hope so. I mean, at home, by the way, a 1.17 ERA, that's nasty. That's nasty. His splits in the second, I mean, his first and second halves were great. You look at what he did in September and October, a 0.77 batting average against. August 3-0 with a 1.38. I mean, I get it. Like I'm looking at his numbers here, and it's basically telling me, dude, what are you doing? This is the guy you want. In the ninth inning, batting average against 0.85. He allowed 4 hits, 4 and 2 runs. The eighth inning, not so much, not nearly as friendly to him, a 3.07 ERA. So maybe you're right, Uncle Ted. Who is the one player in the Sox, says Lip Ripper, do you think is going to have a, quote, good season? Man, you want it to just, this should be easy, right? You know who I want it to be? And people are going to be like, oh, I'm so done with him. I want it to be Andrew Vaughn. I'd like to see Andrew Vaughn hit 275 with 25 and 90. I would. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see a step from him. I really, really would. I'm looking at Chase Mydroth, by the way, could be the second baseman. I kind of looking forward to him. And if Luis Robert is going to be on this team, as of right now he is, I'd like to see him have a good season. Because if he doesn't, he could be in like Moncada Eloy territory. He'll probably get a major league deal at the end of this, but if he can't stay on the field again, your shelf life, man, gets real short after that. Thomas, usually the guy here to mix it up. Here to do my job as the bulwark against the McCarthyites. F Green Bay. Here comes Thomas. Let us shake shit up. Just don't call anybody out. We're all a community here. We're all big boys, though, too. And girls. I don't see Jess in here yet. But I have a boatload of comments to get to. Phil Sims, the real Phil Sims. Good afternoon. How much do you believe the Bears want to win? Stop playing. Bring in McCarthy now. As for Jed, if he says they're not done, make these moves. Spring training is very soon. Phil, there's over 100 free agents out there still. So there doesn't need to be a sense of desperation or panic just yet, just because this is the way. Jed said here a couple days ago, for those of you who've not seen, and he said he feels like January 15th is the new December 15th, which sucks. I think MLB should have like a free agent window, kind of like the NBA and NFL do, where for like 7 days, you got 7 days to lock everybody up. I think that'd be awesome. Talk about the attention you need. I'd love to have Kirby Yates as Kurt, but I'd be over the moon for Scott. They definitely need somebody. I don't think, Peyton, to your point, Carlo Estevez, I from what I'm hearing, okay, just from what I'm hearing, it doesn't sound like the Cubs are going to go that route. It doesn't sound like the Cubs are as high on Estevez as you. I'll just put it that way. I would not expect that move to be made. What up, Lou? They can be frustrating, but the Cubs still have my money. Just picked up the blue alternate lid at Gallagher Way. Talked a lot about Gallagher Way here, Lou, with Tom Ricketts just a short time ago. He was with us from 11 to noon, which was kick-ass. The fact that he came up here, obviously a busy weekend ahead for Ricketts and the Cubs convention. He will be announcing Sammy Sosa later tonight at the Sheraton. For those of you who are going, the Cubs were at, I thought it was cool that the Cubs showed up at Kingston Mines last night for their party. If you go onto Instagram and you see how tight that group is, I thought it was really cool. Sammy Sosa was a part of it. Are they replacing the Wrigleyville jerseys? I think this is a new, like all the teams are kind of on a new cycle of alternates. So I think the Cubs wore the Wrigleyville jerseys on Fridays, and now these powder blues will be worn on Friday home games. Jimbo Guff, good to see you, man. Have a quick check-in. Have a great weekend. Go Irish. Yes, Jimbo, you have a great weekend too. We will talk a lot about the Irish on Monday night, and we'll see how it goes. Uncle Ted saying Edgar Carroll is the next Adley Rutschman. Sign me up, because that means if you have Edgar Carroll, for all the people complaining that, oh, they got Kyle Teal too. They have two catchers. And I sat here with Getz. The Sox haven't developed a catcher since Ron Karkovice. So if you end up developing two, if you have two studs, what a great problem to have. You are an organization everybody wants, because there's not a lot of great catchers out there. If you can have Adley Rush, if Edgar Carroll is Adley Rutschman, watch out. David, McCarthy is who the Bears should take. I think there's a lot of people who are in your camp. I think there's a lot of people who are not, that are like scared to like Mike McCarthy, but like 2 years from now could be like, man, that was a great hire. And it also could backfire. We could be sitting here 3 or 4 years from now going, here we go again. But I think it's a really good hire for what the Bears need right now. Switch hitting catcher beast changes the franchise. I agree. Let's hope that Edgar Carroll comes up and just rakes. There she is. I was just asking about her. Look who's here. Jess, old reliable. Love you, Jess. McCarthy's win-loss is 49-30, 58% winning percentage with the Cowboys, and Tomlin is a 60%. Hey, Jess, why don't you do all of the math? I'm not calling you out. You know I don't like that. Hang on, though. If we're going to go just Cowboys, don't you got to include the Packers in there? Don't you got to put all 18 years together? If we're going to do this right, we got 174. Okay, so his winning percentage is 608. All right, so roughly 61%. Okay, so I'm going to 63% Tomlin, 61% Mike McCarthy. So give him the credit where the credit's due. You're back. Yeah, we should do like a Mount Rushmore of like. The problem is it'd be so hard to find 5, because there'd be 50 flops in Chicago sports history. It'd be great, but this is like a permanent. It's not permanent, but it's a wrap. So this isn't going anywhere until we go somewhere. We do have an ability to swap out the jerseys. So we just had Ricketts here. We had Ernie Banks there. Just to show here, hang on for a sec. I'll go this way. There's Ozzie. So we can move Ozzie over here. You've seen me sometimes on the podcast. I'll keep going. We have a little Kane and Taves action. So we have a Derek Rose. Let's see if I can get you over here just to show you if the man, I'm blocking. I'm going to rip. Look away over there. There's Derek Rose. That's D Rose. And then up here's Dave Bolin signed puck from 13 seconds. So we got, it's like a It's like a little museum in here.
No, it's a man cave.
Oh, Katie's saying it's a man cave. That's not fair, Katie. You're here. It could be an all-inclusive, gender-friendly cave. That's what we're about. It's 2025. What do you want to put on the wall? What should Katie put on the wall of the man cave? That should be a question we put out there. What Katie should get on the wall of the man cave, and we'll talk. Paul, I'm a Sox fan, but the hat and jersey you just showed, I agree with you. They're awesome. Look, I know. It's like so hard not to like want to buy one, but won't see me in one, guys, unless I lose. Maybe Kap and I will have a bet. Plus, I think the White Sox are coming out with some new jerseys too. So maybe next week that they'll put those out with Soxes. I'm not sure. I'll try to get some information on that. Again, we'll be giving Sox Fest tickets away next week right here on the channel. Probably both on the podcast and right here. Guff, I hope you asked the same question to Ricketts I asked earlier. Why should I spend money on Marquee when Ricketts won't spend money for great players? I asked about Marquee directly. We talked more in whole, Jess, about like I brought up like being a fan and wanting a guy like Juan Soto versus being the chairman and knowing like what's too much, what's damaged. I can tell you this, not a fan of the 12, 13-year deals because he thinks of what it could mean in those final 5 or 6 years. Now, I know as fans, we're like, who cares? Let's try to win a World Series now. But if you put yourself in a complete situation for 5 straight seasons of being inept, I think that's what he's looking at. I do think these are the new jerseys. I mean, dude, even look at the Chicago logo. Dude, that is so sick. And they put the neighborhoods in here. I mean, look at this. Look at the sweet home on the sleeve there. God. Again, tough to hate something you envy. Todd Monken is not only no nonsense, he also grew up in Wheaton, knows the area, understands the fan base. He has a family of coaches. I think there's something here. Kurt says, I kind of wish that hat was the same light blue, but I love the rest. I think the hat, I'll have to go back and look here at the hat I showed you. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. But maybe they'll make one too. That's the same royal blue or the same blue. Yeah, Paul. Again, the fans who double dip on the Facebook and the YouTube comments. Sometimes you get them both here on the screen. Rudy says, they're nice when Guff says it because he's a Sox fan. Come home. Rudy, you know me too well. Johnny, were you encouraged by what Tom had to say? I was. I asked him how hard, because he talked about like there's no more rebuilding. Yeah, that was something. No more rebuilds. It's all about winning and getting in the dance. I asked if that's the case, like how hard was 23 and 24? I am encouraged by what he had to say. He compares like the NFL and the NBA to the Major League Baseball and says they're not the same because the top heavy teams usually advance, especially in those first rounds. Whereas in baseball, anything goes. Tom Sanitas, I still have a powder blue Sox jersey. Yep, the late, great Bill Melton 14. You know what, Tom? So do I. I love it. I'm going to see here if I have it at my here. I have the powder blue 1972 Bill Melton jersey as well. And it's one of my favorites. I got it because of my relationship with Bill. And not just that, but damn, I'm trying to find these. Not just that, but the fact that I love the blue. I think the blue like resonates regardless of what team you're a fan of, which is kind of crazy. I don't have the jersey here. I'm going through a bunch of Bill Melton photos as I speak. And I thought I had that one available, but oh well, I don't. So it's I do have that jersey. And let's see. Nope. I thought I could get it really quick, but oh well. No big deal. We'll move on. Lip Ripper. Sox need to get rid of the Southside jerseys, bring back the white pinstripes, with the cutoff sleeves. I think it's about the alternate. If you had a chance to interview the White Sox owner, what would you ask him first? Woo, Jason. First question. First of all, I'm not going to go over like, hey, you sell the team. I am going to ask. I'd probably ask Jerry, how did we get here? That's why. But That's probably one of the first questions, like his version of how did we get here? Because it was going like this, and then it just. So how did we get here? And how do we ever get out? How do we ever get out? I thought the Cubs had a good relationship with Scott Boras. Aren't Bregman and and Alonso Boras clients? Then get them with short-term deals. Are they not? First of all, they're not going to rush these guys. It's only mid-January, and while I know that sounds like, oh God, spring training's so close. We had guys signing in spring training. Like last year, Cody Bellinger signed in spring training. Yes, Alex Bregman is Scott Boras. And so Scott Boras is going to hold out. And so is Pete Alonso. They're both not racing to sign a short-term deal. Yes, Rudy, I've been saying it on the radio. I love Pete Alonso to the Cubs. I think he changes their lineup. I think he changes their dynamic. I think he changes their attitude. I think the Cub fans would love Pete Alonso. Hey, Joe, friend of the program. The Bears have hired only one previous NFL coach, John Fox. He wasn't the answer. McCarthy won a Super Bowl, and other than Dallas did an amazing job. Hire him now. Yeah, John Fox wasn't the answer. The roster sucked. They weren't being forthcoming with him. They drafted a quarterback without him even knowing. Thomas Brown. Here's Thomas. Just shh. Thomas Potster is what I'm calling you. Just no. Sports Broadcast Solutions. Do you remember the Cowboys playoff game where Mike McCarthy told Dak Prescott to do a QB sneak with no timeouts left? The game ended with Prescott not having enough time to spike the ball. Do you want me to go through every coach and find a time management mistake? Because I guarantee you we can. Now, maybe some aren't as damning as Matt Eberflus on Thanksgiving Day, but I guarantee you that we can find every head coach in the NFL with time management problems or a mistake that have been out there. But yes, I do remember that. So like I said before earlier this week, I would love to be sitting here talking about the Bears' early exit in the playoffs. As much as that would hurt, at least it would be talking about a playoff win or a playoff game. Justin, should everyone be signed by January 20th so that to know their teammates before camp and could build a bond? They could also use time to settle into. Yeah, I think that's the human side of it, Justin. But these guys also are going for, take that, Mr. Kaplan. I think these guys are also going for the biggest dollar too. So it's a combination. Coming up on I just realized we were almost a half hour on the air here. So many comments. Lip Ripper going, I love where you dance, man. You take care of us in the Mountain West, wherever the hell that conference is called now. Is it the new pack? Everyone's moving and shaking, but I'm calling it I love New Mexico -3.5. I'm going to play it because my bet of the day, I decided why am I not going NFL? Like why skip Saturday and Sunday? I guess I could do it on Twitter and social, put out my bets of the day of the weekend. I'm still pissed about last night, Michigan's awful performance. So Lip Ripper's going New Mexico -3.5. I'm not going to lie to you, Lip Ripper's on a bit of a heater. Okay. So we'll get to the bet of the day here in a second. Here's Thomas. I'll get you here. What do you got? 11-11 postseason record with one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history and 2 wildcard exits in 3 years, including a blowout loss to the 8-seeded Packers. Yeah, such an amazing job. Hey, Thomas, who you got? Who you got? Who's your guy? You are on the Ben Johnson or bust train. You know what his postseason record is? 0-0. Okay. They are going to be historically one of the best offense. They better win the damn Super Bowl then. Otherwise, it's a fail, right? Are you going to hold the coordinators to these teams, the guys who are candidates for these head coaching jobs, to the same accountability that you're holding Mike McCarthy? I'm asking you that. He's coached in 22 playoff games. The Bears have had 22 playoff games since 1984. Appreciate you, Jess. King, I'll get you in here before we're finishing up. Happy Friday. Let's have some fun. 4-man Mount Rushmore of Chicago bust. Players that had the talent and hype. I got to think about, okay, King, can we come back to that? Can you give me the weekend on that one? I don't want to shortchange that. Joe's calling me out here. This is what happens when you know people, or you think you know people. How about that? I sang Go Cubs Go at the bars on Clark Street in 03. Okay, well, that 03 run was pretty fun. I just moved in with a bunch of dudes. We lived on Clark Street from October 1st to October 18th, or whenever the Cubs lost in Game 7 to the Marlins. Those were good times. I'll put it that way. Joe, okay? You do what you got to do, my friend. Broski, the Ravens offense isn't really known to be a juggernaut. I'm not sure why Monken is getting... What? What are we doing? Their quarterback threw 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And now we're sitting there. Their running back could have run for 2,000 yards. And yet we're going, oh, they're not juggernaut. What are we doing? Oh, boy. We got stuff playing. This is the pop-up ads are a mess over here. What are we doing? Now we're not calling teams to auger. The Baltimore Ravens were number 1 in the NFL in offense. Dude, they're not a juggernaut. They are not a juggernaut. They're number 1 at 425 yards a game. There were 2 teams that had 400 yards. The Lions were second. They're the number 1 running offense in the NFL. Don't you? Oh, it's just because they had Derrick Henry. They're the number 7 offense in passing. They're no juggernaut. The hell's he done? What are we doing? Love you guys, but come on, man. I got to call a spade here. Points a game. Detroit or Baltimore Ravens, 3rd, 30.5. Nope. No juggernaut. No juggernaut. So to finish you off, Bresky. Moo. All right, Phil, you're asking my division round Super Bowl pick. I want it to be Lions Bills. I feel like a lot of people do. I want Lions Bills. I want then America can have their pick. Neither side. Everyone should feel good. Nobody's won a Super Bowl in their life. I want Lions Bills. So that's what I'm rooting for. It's probably going to be the flipping Chiefs. That's what I'm rooting for. But because of all of this, and you're asking, I feel like it's time for the bet of the day because I'm going to ride with some chalk here on Saturday. Now I'm going to buy these spreads down and I'm going to combine the bet into a parlay. Don't normally like giving out parlays because trying to get 2 for 1. We need a win here after last night's BS loss. I'm going to buy the Chiefs and the Lions down to 6.5. We're going to parlay them together. I'm going to give you a plus 145 parlay here. I think I honestly think both these teams cover. I think the Chiefs are 8.5. I think they cover that number. I think they win by 10 or more. I do. As good as the Texans are or can be, I think the Chiefs at home in this environment, they got healthy. They're hearing the noise of kind of becoming like America's hated team. And then I think the Commanders, honestly, I think this is where their road ends. As fun as it's been to watch Jaden Daniels with the ball in his hand late in the game, I think the Lions cover this one too. I think they're 9.5, but I'm going to buy them down for the sake of the parlay. I'm going 6.5, 6.5. Well, now you're calling me out, broski, in the middle of me explaining. Now he wants to look at the year before. Okay, so I'm looking at 2023's offense. Okay, they're 4th in scoring. They are 6th in total offense. They are middle of the pack in passing. They are number 1 in running. I don't know what you want me to look at. I honestly don't. So, dude, I did look at previous years. 6th and 1. And you're asking why we're interviewing their offensive coordinator. Okay. Clyde's going Chiefs Lions. Don't sleep on the Rams line. Lip ripper. He knows he likes those Lions, or he likes those Rams. I like it. All right, guys. Hey, there's the bet of the day. I'm going to do this. I already put this parlay in. I bet these games that I give you, by the way. I'm not letting you run out there solo and then going, we lost. No. I'm giving you stuff that I'm actually laying the pipe on here. Okay? You too, lip ripper. Based on the talk with Tom, how committed do you think he's a billion next year? I think he's committed to getting the next team to win a division. He's all about getting in the dance. That's what I learned. The interview will drop ASAP. Katie's putting the fine tuning on it now. She's putting a thumbnail together. What do you give us a ballpark, Katie? What do you think? Within the hour?
10 minutes.
Let's call it. She thinks 10 minutes. Let's be fair and call it. Well, that thing will be out by 2 p.m. Central. She gave me she pissed at me. She thinks I'm doubting her. So there you go, Jess. The Ricketts interview will drop soon. Hey, Katie getting a shout out. Just saying thanks, Guff and Katie. Bear down, Tommy. I'm calling you Tommy. Bear down, Guff. See you next stream. You got it, Tom. Thomas the Pot Stir. You guys have a great weekend. There's Clyde's final 3. matches Caps. You guys have an awesome weekend. We'll take a breather. We'll gather all the information. Cap and I will be dropping stuff later. We got the Ricketts interview. Katie and I will be at Cubs Convention in a little bit. We have a rush hour.
Drop some comment or some questions they want to know.
Drop some questions in the chat for what you want to hear from Cubs players. Fun ones, too. Not everything has to be serious with these clowns. Okay? Not everything. Let's have some fun. Who should the Bears' next head coach be? Maybe that's a question we'll ask him. I think it is. All right, guys, have a great weekend. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with me, Guff. We will see you on Monday. Have a great one. Bundle up if you're in the city because, damn, it's going to be cold. Holiday weekend ahead. Take that.